Esale ka kgwedi ya June dithopa di pankanyetsa jalo go simolla ga 2022-2023 season mme le gompieko ga gona sepe se ile gore se simolotse dithopa di irile pre-season gore ha nne go kgonagalang ka bo irile ba itse gore re ta sibolla lata so ba tsa jalo break mo go utwa jalo gore gona mme ba tshamiki ba mega go le kae. How do you even condition players going forward, because you look at the fixtures, it looks like games are going to be back to back, and how do you deal with that? The physical trainer Costa Pensa Masitaoka kiwa jalo ka Shagwa Mogwe. Shagwa dumela.
Dumela.
Are simolleha bothokwa ja go nna le a physical trainer mo stopping.
Yeah, football has everything, like in sports, has gone scientific. Yeah, so you need a trainer in every aspect. You need to have a trainer molebaling, because we are the one who determines how your players play, the fitness level of your players. We are the one who determined everything. The program, is the program fine? Are you going to be running it? How you are going to be running it? So a trainer, a physical trainer is the backbone of the team.
Yeah, interesting. Physical trainer is the backbone of the team. Normally, pre-season, it's just 6 weeks. 6 weeks. We are now in 18 weeks, going to 19. The Topadira Jalo pre-season. Pre-season tele 5 months. Yama bathamiki holekahi.
Hey, because normally this is what will happen. In pre-season, you need to have a plan. A plan. You need to do a period. You need to periodize that plan. We call it periodization. We periodize it in cycles. First week, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, 6 week, 7, 8. Because normally pre-season will run for 6 to 10 weeks. Yeah. In that pre-season, everything has to be done. Your friendlies, everything, your drills, everything. We do it in that period. So importantly, we will know it's very important for us to have a pre-season, because that's where we are able we're going to be able to diagnose early injuries that maybe we had last season. And again, it helps us to optimize our fitness levels for our players. But as it becomes more, we take more time. What does it happen to our players? That's where we are.
And that's what we are trying to find out.
Yes.
What happens now? 5 months of pre-season.
5 months of pre-season.
Yeah. So,
number one, first thing, fatigue into players. The more we've been training, we're having friendlies. As you could see what is happening, tournaments, sometimes teams try to make mini tournaments and the intensity of the games are very high. It's just like maybe when you're playing the league games. The intensity is very high. So what happens? Fatigue. Players get fatigued. And when your players are fatigued, what happens? Some, they become prone to injuries. Before the league starts, you will tend to see that you already have players who are injured.
And how do you try to condition, I'll use that word, condition your players, more situation in the uncertainties of starting the league delay thing? How do you condition your players as physical trainers, and how do you deal with, coaches, or the communication between you guys and coaches?
So in that kind of instance, that's when now the training, there's what we call principles of training. That's where they come to part. What do you do? How do you manipulate your training, your training programs? Which principles are you using? You'll find that because the more you overload a lot, it leads to overtraining. And overtraining can lead to injuries. So now you need to do things progressively. The principle of progression. That's the one that you need to use. And you need to be giving players time off, time in, time off, recoveries, to see how we're gonna do things.
And you look at the fixtures, like I was saying, Haki Simola, the interview, it looks like they're going to be back to back, you know, with so many games in a short time. Yeah, what do you do there?
Yeah, so we get to that point, back to back games. How are you managing your players, squad rotation and recovery? How do you do that? How do your players recover? So we have things like ice bath. You have to make sure that at all time you try to engage more of flexibility exercises like yoga classes and do some cross training. That's when now you need to be having a large pool of squad so that you are able to rotate them. As you rotate them again, you need to be able to know if these guys have played on Wednesday, we are going to play on Sunday again. So what am I going to do we played on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What are you going to do? Are we going to say Wednesday after the game, Thursday, maybe we're traveling back to Gaborone from Francistown, then Friday, are we training or are we having a rest day or are we recovery? So that's when now the trainer comes in. Or no, this is what we have to do. If we are coming from there, when we get there, we need to have a recovery.
Yeah.
We need to recover, and the kind of recovery that we have to do is this. After having played a game in Francistown and then traveling back to Gaborone, this is what we need to get there and do when we get there.
I'm afraid, you know, some supporters don't actually get it. What should the expectation be? We're gonna hear complaints about, you know, team the game. What should we expect? Should we expect fire because you guys have been doing pre-season for a very long time, or the mood is gonna be, the play is gonna be a relaxed one because of fatigue that you have been talking about?
With the expertise that I have and having been looking and from my own judgment as a physical trainer, I expect the league to start slow.
Yeah.
Because already, as you said, teams have been training June, July, August, September. It's October now. Yeah. It's like, and there's no team that you hear that it has taken a break or what, a 1 week break, 2 week break. They've been training and
they were nowhere they were going to take a break because they were saying and talking of taking breaks, physical trainer as a physical trainer no advice no June we into July, August October and no advice breaks in between, and if we gonna have a break in between as a team, how does that affect us?
So the difference is this: we have kind of breaks that we take, like we have active rest, bed rest. So maybe if we go into active rest, you would advise that sometimes let's have active rest. Let's keep the players off the field. Maybe do something different. Maybe we just meet for team building. What? Maybe give them 2-3 days bed rest. They rest. They come back, we take the intensity, because mostly you start intensity is very high and then we have to take the intensity down, low intensity, manipulate it, looking at the time the league is going to start. Yeah. But with the fact that we didn't know what is happening, we were always saying now, which means in 2 weeks time, in a week's time, the league is starting. Yeah. And we get where we are, we deload. Yeah. From last week, we were deload. Most teams, they will say, no, now we are a week, we are approaching, we knew we are playing this weekend. So this whole week,
we've been preparing the game.
For the game. The intensity goes down. Yeah. It's now to tactical awareness, to the coaches. We give them to the coaches. This is what we have to do, this is what you have to do. Yeah. And surprisingly, there's no league.
There's no league. Parting words, a word of advice to the players. The long season, fatigue or nothing. Games are going to be back to back. It is important to have that rest. What can you say to them?
I will say one thing to the teams, all the teams in our country, to all the technical staffs, that we need to be very, very, very aware. We need to engage more in flexibility exercises. Our players, we need to make sure we give them good recovery, because they will play more games in a short period of time. And we need to be aware of how we're going to be training, the intensity, the loads that we're going to be doing during this season.
Le bana ba sa tshameki ba reste. Go restege, so go tsena is very important kana yang.
Yeah, it is important.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Shagwa, thank you so much for your time. Marata, we said that mo di program in with BTV Sport, how to let the importance of, pre-season. What does it do to the players, especially when it is long like ours was? Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much. Can I give you the physical trainer, Masitaoka, Shagwa Mogwe, the effects of long pre-season and how should teams be approaching the season start? What should you expect? Mutule expect a slow start. It has been a long journey for this team. Botswana Breakfast Show. Miss World.